Welcome to Barnstable Today. I'm Nick Cortez. For over 100 years, the Marston's Mills Herring Run has expedited the annual trip this crucial species makes to Middle Pond in order to spawn, and then back again to the open ocean to keep the food chain intact. The run has been rebuilt a number of times throughout its history, and the process of doing it again is now underway. Last week, preparations for reconstruction began as AmeriCorps members made their way from one end of the run to the other, clearing brush and other debris. We trudged through the snow to meet up with Keith Hopkins, an AmeriCorps member working with the town's growth management department, to get a first-hand look at the work that was being done. We're out here in Marston's Mills this morning, and dividing myself and my buddy Keith Hopkins here from AmeriCorps is a herring run. It originates from Middle Pond, which is that away. And here today is Keith to talk a little bit about what AmeriCorps is doing here today, right down there. Hey, Keith, thanks for joining us.
Sure.
Now, tell us a little bit about this project and how AmeriCorps came to be involved in it.
Well, we were contacted by Doug Calwitt to help out with this project, and what we're trying to do is we're just trying to clear all the brush and debris from the herring run so that a survey crew can come and survey it, so that later on another crew can come back and rebuild the run, because it's about, I think it's a little over 10 years old, and it's kind of deteriorating, and so yeah, it needs to be renovated.
So AmeriCorps is here doing kind of the advance work today.
Yeah, we're just trying to clear brush and debris, fallen trees, sticks, leaves, just try and clear it out of the way.
Now, we've talked to AmeriCorps members over the course of the past several years at a number of different projects, all different types. Talk about some of the other things that you're involved in personally, because of course you do work with the town of Barnstable on a regular basis.
Yeah, we do a lot of aquaculture, shellfishing and stuff like that. I personally work with the growth management department, trying to work on all the waste to water, and also on the coastal mitigation nursery in Centerville, and at the nursery at 725 on Main Street in Hyannis. Just trying to keep that clear, and also keep the plants healthy so that we can split and pot them and transport them to other waste to water in the town. We're going to be helping winterize certain homes for the winter season, and repaint group homes that are owned by Barnstable Housing Authority, so that kind of stuff. So a huge variety of things that you do, and I guess the other question is, why did you decide to come out to Cape Cod and do stuff like this? Well, I kind of wanted to do something different. I had been working in TV production for a while, and I wanted to try something that was community-oriented, and also come to a new place and live in a beautiful area.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you here, and obviously we appreciate the good work that you and all your colleagues are doing just down the way there. And Keith, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Nick.
All right. Supervising the Herring Run Restoration Project is Doug Calwitt from the town's Marine and Environmental Affairs Division, as well as 3 Bays Preservation Executive Director Lindsay Council. Lindsay joined us out at the run to give us a brief history of the structure and to explain the details of this latest rebuild. Here at the Herring Run in Marston's Mills, and I'm joined now by an old friend of Channel 18, 3 Bays Preservation Executive Director Lindsay Council. Hey, Lindsay.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
I'm doing very well. This has got to be a pretty exciting thing for you to see this project start to begin here, considering how heavily involved you were in the last rebuild.
Yes, it is. It's very exciting. We're looking forward to getting this job done and giving the fish safe passage to Middle Pond.
So explain to us what's kind of happening today and how the process is going to move forward to reconstruct the Herring Run here.
Well, what we're doing, we have an AmeriCorps crew here, led by Doug Calwitt and Alicia Stanley, and they're clearing out the brush along the run. It's gotten quite overgrown over the years, and what they'll do is take the brush back to the banks here so that the survey crew can come in and get some grades for the pitch of the run as it's being rebuilt.
Okay. And as we see right now, it's built out of timbers currently, and a lot of the timbers are rotting because of the age and the fact that you couldn't use pressure-treated wood. So the new project is going to have something more permanent, right?
Yes, it'll be made out of, I believe, a concrete at this point is what they're going to be using, a prefabricated concrete sections that'll be placed in here, as I said, on grade, and they will hopefully last at least 50 years or more.
Okay. And I think it's important to talk a little bit about the way that this project was funded, because, of course, this was on the town's CIP for a long time, and it just couldn't have been gotten around to because of lack of funding. Sure. But, of course, the federal government stepped in and decided to help out.
Yes, that's the USDA funds that were available through the local NRCS office, Natural Resource Conservation Office, and we're very fortunate to be on the list for those funds. As you said, this is a project that normally wouldn't be funded. And the natural resource folks have had to come in and patch this up over the years with plywood, as you can see, and really just try to keep the thing running. So it's a good project to restore the run and get this bypass as it is back into shape.
Now, give us a sense of the history of this herring run, because I know in previous conversations with you, you've explained that this has existed for a long time.
Very long time. It was built sometime in the late 1800s as a bypass to the bog systems that to the west out here. The fish were going up the Marston's Mills River, then they would have to traverse through the bogs and make a big loop around to get back into Middle Pond. So it was thought that they could avoid all of that travel by digging this 1,200-foot run and just short-circuit the passage into the pond.
So why was it important then? Why is it important now?
Well, herring back then were quite a food source. They were taken and dried and put in barrels and shipped off on ships for onboard food for the sailors. So it was a very important resource. It was actually, if you look at some of the old town records, they bid on it. And these companies would get a grant from the town to actually harvest the herring. So back then it was very important. But now, in our days, it's much more important as a food source for stripers and bluefish. And as you may have known, in many cases, the herring populations are way down because of restrictions such as this that limit their passage. So it's very important to keep the ways open so the fish can make it to the pond and spawn, and then the little fellows can get out in the fall.
And what's the timetable for final completion with the new concrete herring run installed?
We'll know that once the survey is done and the final design is in place. We still have to go to Concom for permits, and then we'll have to it'll have to be bid out to a contractor, probably in two pieces. One to provide the concrete material or whatever is determined to be the best solution for that, and then the actual work itself. So we have some work ahead of us that we need to get done, and then we'll have a work plan on when this will actually be done. But I would guess it'll be next fall.
Well, it's certainly nice to see that work is underway on a really important project, and it's a great thing that it can actually get done. And, Lindsay, we appreciate you joining us to talk about it.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. And thanks for coming out, and we'll keep you guys posted as things move along.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
As you heard Lindsay mention, this project is funded by the Cape Cod Water Resources Restoration Grant Program through the Natural Resources Conservation Service of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The town of Barnstable was awarded nearly $800,000 through this program to restore the herring run, Rushy Marsh Pond, and to do a number of stormwater remediation projects in shellfish beds around town. Now it's time to take a look at this week's meetings. On Tuesday, January 18th, the Conservation Commission meets in the Town Hall hearing room at 6:30. Wednesday, January 19th, there's an amnesty hearing in the Town Hall hearing room at 6 p.m. At 7 p.m., the Zoning Board of Appeals meets in the Town Hall hearing room. Also at 7 p.m., the Hyannis Main Street Waterfront Historic District Commission meets in the Selectmen's Conference Room. And at 7:30, the Shellfish Committee meets in the MEA Conference Room on Finney's Lane. Thursday, January 20th, the Town Council meets in the Town Hall hearing room. Well, that's all for now. I'm Nick Cortez, and we'll see you next time on Barnstable Today.